Okay guys, I'm just going to introduce you to this one more technique which allows us to build a body, and which also I want to show you how to merge all the different parts together. So I'm just going to come here, come out of this. I'll turn the symmetry off for now, and I'll kill the Turbosmooth. Let me kill the Turbosmooth. Okay, let me show you what's happening here. We have these two plates. Any questions about how I made the plates? I will revisit it. I'll quickly revisit it. I made a plane, a simple plane, one in the front view, one in the side view. Then I went into materials and I took one of those materials. In the diffuse, I just added a bitmap, so I just dragged a bitmap from here, okay, and I picked up a bitmap and I linked the bitmap here, okay. So you can just sort of drag a bitmap, pull a bitmap and link it here, okay. That's what I did. And then I assigned it. I selected something and then I selected the material and I clicked on assign to selection. Cool. And I did it for the front view and side view. So I got these pictures of the same height, reference pictures. I cropped them same height so that they can go side by side. After assigning it, what I did was right click on this, and I'm going to show this again because it's very important. When you go to object properties, I want to freeze it, right? But when I freeze it, it will actually go gray. So I have to turn this off, show frozen in gray. And then when I go OK, you see, I can't click it. Now I need to unfreeze all, take this guy, delete it, and I need to freeze these guys back. I need to select these guys and go and freeze them back, freeze selection. Okay. So that's how I got my template. It's known as a reference template. You can notice I have put it slightly behind the z-axis and this one behind the x-axis, and I start building with my box. Now I usually don't keep these polygons, but symmetry actually will weld it for me, and I can't delete these polygons because that's where it's actually going to seam up. Let me get my helmet out of the way. So you see here, I've done a bit of it, so I'm going to remove it and I'll show you how it's done. These faces I've deleted, okay. But when I say symmetry, symmetry has an option to weld the seam, and you can see if it is not welded, then either it's not too close. I'm just going to try and move the mirror axis. See that? So if it is within welding distance, now you can see here it's not welded. Why? Because my vertices are off. So I'm just going to select these vertices from the front view and I just bring them close, okay, and that takes care of it. Now how was I working on this? Oh, once I get the very low poly model, I can add mesh smooth or turbo smooth. Most students prefer turbo smooth, and you can see what it does. After you smooth it, you sometimes realize that, hey, this is too much rounded. Maybe I need to take these shoulder muscles and pull them up, you know, and you can do all of those modifications. I'm just following that reference here, and if you feel, yeah, I need to go a bit higher, I need to take this guy, these points a bit higher, yeah, sure, okay. Now I'm just going to show you how I work with this reference. I used this view Okay, and right side I made perspective, front and left. You can see why it works well, because I get extra space here. See that? I'll pull the helmet back later on. So let me turn off Turbosmooth and let me come to the front view, and I'm going to work in these views. Sometimes you got to be very clever, and you can see how I made the thumb. When I came to the wrist, I added one section, one more, just so that I can pull a thumb out, and then another one and another one. You have to be a bit clever with these things, and you can see how I just bent it, the thumb, and you'll see it when I do the leg, how this works, how this technique works. We saw it with the boot, same technique, nothing different, except symmetry takes care of the other half, we build only half, and Turbosmooth takes care of the roundedness. And in our case, the helmet, boots and gloves will hide everything rubbish, you know. So if I go to polygon, click on this polygon below, and I click on extrude. I am going to extrude one, that's my waist, that's the belt, and ooh, need to be careful about what I select. Now this one here, I'm going to bring it down. I take the vertex on the left from this front view, move it here, take this vertex, move it. Yes, the waist. It doesn't look like it right now, but it will be. Okay, that's my belt, and you can see how I've made a provision to pull out the leg. So you see this polygon here. If I go to polygon and I click on this one, then I start. So this leg has to come somewhere here. I'm just going to move the vertices, and if you draw enough, you will realize that these parts, muscle, small, big, small, big, small. Can you see that? Big, small, big, small, small, big, then again small. Can you see that? If you draw enough, you will find that that's the way things work. Now I come here, I take this scale tool, right click in this viewport, scale it down, right click here, and you can see it's all happening, right? And from the side view, we don't want him to be too skinny from the side view either. So I'm just coming here and give his legs a bit of body. Take the waist, and from the side view make the waist a bit, yeah, that's okay. So you got to keep checking from both views. It's really not difficult if you draw it neatly, cleanly. It depends on how much difficult you want to make it for yourself. So if you draw too much detail, of course, and symmetry really helps you out here. Again, thin, thick, right? And then the next one, we go all the way down. Models with easy geometry, quite easy to make. I'm just going to increase this one in size, because when I smooth it up. And also the thighs, you want to kind of keep the front portion more straightish. You will see from the diagram, the front portion is more straightish, but the back shank, what is it called, calf, rather, calf. So you have a calf which is kind of like that. Okay, and now if I just put my Turbosmooth, you can see it's gone too smooth, so I'm going to take these ones and increase them in size. Let me go further. Now the feet are a bit tricky here, and really I don't mind doing a model 4 or 5 times because I realize certain mistakes that I have made and certain things that I can improve. So this one I've pulled it down, and I will pull it down again, but now I'm going to do the front. Front comes here. I'm going to scale it up a bit, then extrude it further, scale it down a bit, and then you see the foot actually has to be flat. So I'm selecting all of these vertices and scaling them down so they're flat. You see, they're flat. I'm going to move this a bit to the back, or just sorry, I might move just this one to the back. Probably move this one a bit down, and from the top view I do require a topish view. So when you look at your feet, you'll see that this side goes out a bit more, the left and right, you see. So I'm going to take these things and move them out a bit. See that? So it looks like the left and right side of the shoe. And I actually will delete that and I'll put the cover, use the boot to cover it, but I just want to show you how to sort of think subdivisions. And because Turbosmooth is going to round off the bottom of the feet, you see it rounds it off. If you actually take these polygons, so if you take those polygons and extrude it very little, then the Turbosmooth, see that? See the Turbosmooth now knows there are 2 sections there, so it doesn't start rounding it off. Those 2 sections close to each other make it look flat. Okay? But that's one thing I wanted to show you. And then, you know those different parts we made. When you bring them together, we have been very naughty. We haven't been naming them. So this guy I'm going to name as body, because every object we started with a box is called box 001, and those things start merging with each other and overwriting each other. Now suppose I want to put a sword on his back, axe on his side, and boots. I'll have to kill the legs for the boots, but I'll show you how to merge. So you go here, go to import and merge. Now let me say I want my axe 1. Open, capsule and line, very nice names. There used to be a way to change things. I'll just merge it and then I'll take this. Okay, well done. Now I need to scale it down. Very big axe. Now I'm just going to go back here to this view so I can bring him somewhere closer. So I've got this axe here. I can actually group it for now. Group axe. Before I group it, let me change the names. It's not the best names. I'm going to call that axe blade. You can use a camel case if you want. I'm going to call that axe handle. So if I want to select things, I can select them from this list here, you see. And then if I want, I just take these 2 guys, group it into axe. Just going to put it somewhere in front or on the side. So there it is rotated. Just gonna move it somewhere on the side. Somewhere there. Okay, so I got my axe, very ready to kill, and then I've merged the helmet already, and that's what you really do. You keep on merging, scaling, or even if you want to save them separately to bring them in Unity, at least make sure they are scaled nicely, or all of them are set in Z and are scaled nicely. So you just bring them to Unity, bang, parent the axe, the helmet to the body, and it's all good, ready to go. Merge. What else did we have? We had boots. What else did we have? Did we have an armor? No. Shield. Okay, I'll get a shield. Now I usually take only the geometry because I don't want my cameras being overwritten. And he says, oh, the material is, see, my materials, I've got a material with the same name. I'm going to call this material shield material. So there I've got my shield, and because I've renamed it, I think maybe that's why. Oh, it can't find the texture. I can say material, pick from object. So pick this guy's material. Material get from selected. That's the one. I had a UVW map on this material, so I'm just going to try and find my shield thingy. Just maybe get a standard material and just go to diffuse and see if I can find my map. Not sure if it was this. I'll give it a bash anyway. No, I'd made two shields, so that UV map is different. That's the axe. Maybe that one, I don't know. Yeah, that's it. Okay, so there you merge your objects, get back your materials, and if I had just stopped here, I would have probably got the boots and stuck the boots over the legs. But you get the idea on how to complete an object. Now this is not a part of your assignment to give me a body, but because you are learning character animation, you're better off making this. Also, you must understand that when you put bones, your arms have to be spread out. It's easier to put the bones and control the character. Because my reference was like this and I was just focusing on modeling, I put the arms like this. And I just realized that his arms, after putting Turbosmooth, are pretty skinny. So I'm going to come over here and just make his arms a bit bulky from the side view. So you have to keep checking because smoothing will round it off. Okay, so your muscles and your shanks and your calf muscles, you have to keep fine-tuning it. So there it is. I'm going to save this. Body with accessories. And I'm going to unfreeze all and just move this guy a bit, move this guy a bit, and there you go. That's my character, some parts with texture, some without texture. Okay, so the previous parts of texture, body not done yet, but really you can take the belt polygons, extrude them, armor polygons, extrude them, put some kind of a hemisphere here, shoulder pads separately, and you can decorate it. You can make a really nice character. Okay, not part of your assignment, but really if you want to do modeling, get to this stage. Product modeling is a lot easier than character modeling. Character modeling requires a bit more of aesthetic and art sense. Okay, and yeah, I have taken these images from the net. They're not mine. I should have referenced it somewhere and I forgot where I took them from, but I'd like to thank that artist. So it's all cool now.